Rustie is the working name of Russell White, who's a musician and producer from Glasgow. His career started in 2007, and he has 3 albums so far. He's been categorized as many things, but the broad category is electronic. Hi, my name's Dan, and if you'd like to put a comment on this video, plug it down there. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel, there's a button down there. So please, no, right. So this was Rustie's first album. The introductory screens in this video have the genre descriptions that come from the list that I'm using and I'm working my way through. Just in case you don't know, it's a list of the 3,000 best albums of all time according to a very complicated set of amalgamation of ratings by critics over the years. And my aim is to work through all 3,000. Whether I'll get there or not, we'll see. Putting that aside, what was I saying? Yes, the genre description that you saw, which was purple sound / wonky, comes from that list. I have no idea what either of those mean. And when I look at information on this album, critics seem to disagree on what it is. I think there is one thing clear, which is that it's electronic. And okay, so that's fine. Let's try and do some description. Oh my goodness, it kind of starts to defy description in many ways. And what I'm going to try and avoid is too much using of electronic subgenre titles to say it's like drill and bass, as if everybody in the world who's going to watch this will know exactly what I mean by that. You might. I'm sorry if I'm denigrating you. I didn't until fairly recently. Right, so let's try and talk about it. It's got big pad synth sounds in there, like ambient music at times. It's got analog sounds in there, some big thick analog basses at times, or analog lead. So that sounds like kind of 70s electronic synthesizers. What else we got? We got microbeats. So I referred to drill and bass before, and this is a thing where you get very complex, very fast drum beat sections. Often kind of each one is different, and there's obviously been some kind of process going through deciding exactly where each beat and what each sound is. There's normal electronic music wizardry like slowdowns and speed ups. There's sweeping filters, so there's the kind of thing that goes, yeah, my impression's not great. Rave stabs, so from rave music from the 90s, there was a kind of way of using synths, particularly chords on synths, you go bap bap beep 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 bap 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 bip bap bap on off beats and stuff, very syncopated. There's quite a lot of that. There's basically quite a lot of syncopation in here. There's sound effects and the sped up vocals. So it reminded me of, there was a song by Babylon Zoo called Spaceman, which has this Spaceman very high thing. And there's a lot of that kind of vocals. There's a lot of repetition of stuff, which is normal for electronic, but there's a lot of change, a lot of stuff changing over time. So, is the opposite end of the spectrum from ambient, where the changes are slow and it's kind of gradual. This is very abrupt and lots of changes for the sake of change. There's some particularly interesting or slightly different things going on here. So, one is there's a tendency to have bars that are in 8/8 or 4/4, you might say, with a kind of stutter in them. And I've spent a bit of time, counting through the beats to try and work out how many beats there are. And in fact, there are 8 beats, but it sounds like there's a normal rhythm and then a stutter. And how is achieved that? I'm not really sure. There's pitch shifting, so he's done bits where he's kind of twiddled the shift. Sometimes of everything all at once, and it gives a very unsettling feeling when you do that. There's polymeters, so to try and explain that. That's when you've got, for example, somebody playing in 3/4 and somebody playing in 4/4 at the same time. Well, he's done electronically, so you've got these beats that fight against each other as they play out, and the overall effect then is something that's intricate, it's complex, it's kind of psychedelic, it's always surprising. It's mostly feels like it's instrumental. There are vocals in there, but there's very few that I can actually make out what the words are because of the processing on the vocals. It's relentlessly interesting and it's kind of odd. It's definitely freaky. So compared with, I mean, I quite like some areas of electronic. This is not really my area, especially because it's quite ravey. That is a thing that has often really not appealed to me very much. But this, I actually got really engaged with it because it's so relentlessly surprising. Yeah, so I enjoyed it. Have you heard it? What do you think? Let me know in the comments. That's it from me for now.